Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today in this video I'm going to be discussing my personal favorite top 10 Star Wars movies. Let's get it. Alright, so let's start at number 10. Obvious, it's there, you know it, I know it. My number 10 is Rise of Skywalker. I've only seen this movie like twice, and I just have weird vibes from it the whole entire movie. I just really didn't like the way it ended. I didn't like anything about this Star Wars movie in general. And I know it has to do a lot with directors, going in a certain direction. I know there was two different directors that kind of did their own versions of these, sequels with the Star Wars movies, but I hated every bit of it. The only cool thing with these sequel Star Wars movies is that we got to see old characters. That is it for me. End of story. That's all. I don't have any positive things to say about this film. Next. Alright, number 9 is The Last Jedi. Once again, I've seen this movie twice too. And thinking it's in my head, when I first saw it, I was like, wait, I don't know. I didn't feel like a Star Wars movie, and then I went to go see it again, gave it a second shot, and no, it still did nothing for me. And I've only seen this movie twice, and that's the crazy thing, and I still remember all this dumb, weird stuff that happened. And first off, I just want to say that the direction that this director took, Rian Johnson, it was completely different, completely just 180. Like, it just was totally opposite of the first one, which was Force Awakens. I was not even invested with any of these characters except maybe Kylo Ren. Rey's character I really didn't care too much for, because we still didn't really get a backstory with her, and she just appears and she's a Jedi. She just doesn't even do the training right with Luke. It just works like automatically. It's already embedded in her mind that she is so powerful. But whatever. And that's honestly why I did not like this movie at all. There was only one cool part which I really loved, was Kylo Ren and Rey fighting at the end. I was getting a connection to that Snoke villain character, but they just kill him. So I just don't get it. And then they did the same thing with Palpatine in Rise of the Skywalker. They just rolled the dice. They said, let's see if it lands on Palpatine. Okay, let's bring him back to the life. I'm sorry, it just didn't work. It didn't work at all. I really, no. And let's make Kylo Ren die, make Rey live, but Kylo Ren is the one with the backstory, but let's give Rey more of the chance to live the legacy on. Just absolute BS. Just get a little flustered thinking about it. Alright, so number 8 we have A New Hope. This is the first Star Wars movie to come out, and I do love this movie, but I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, only because it does take a while for the story to get going, and they're introducing all these random characters, and you don't really know how to grasp all this information at first. And I guess the only reason why I would say this is at the bottom list is because there's not a lot of action. It's just more about storytelling and starting from the bottom. I still look at it as A New Hope as it's a classic film, and it influenced all the genres of sci-fi, so many other movies down the road that would emulate and start getting influenced by. And George Lucas really left a legacy because of his vision with A New Hope, and it kind of just opened the doors for all movies and cinema and everything. Alright, coming in at number 7 we have Phantom Menace. Now this movie is still good. I consider it as still a decent Star Wars movie. I'd rather watch Phantom Menace over any of these sequels like The Last Jedi or Rise of the Skywalker. I'd rather watch Phantom Menace any day of the week than the new sequels. Phantom Menace is sort of like a unique Star Wars film too, because this was the first Star Wars movie in 30 years, and so that must have been a lot of pressure to make, because George Lucas, he eventually got back to the storytelling. It doesn't have that dramatic plot in a way. It's just more of, it's straightforward. It's right away with the the Republic and the Jedis and like booming with action, and it's still one of my favorite because there's one reason why, and it's because of the lightsaber duel with Darth Maul, Qui-Gon Jinn, and Obi-Wan Kenobi at the very end of the movie with John Williams' score. Oh my god, it just, everything was on point, everything was just in sync, and it was just a perfect cinematic moment in the Star Wars movie. I think out of that whole movie, it was that ending. That's still one of my favorite lightsaber duels, and it's one of my favorite like scenes in general in the Star Wars franchise. It's up there, but it's not, I wouldn't say it's up there with like maybe the top 5, but once again, yeah, it's still a great film. All right, next at number 6 we have Force Awakens. Now this one I was very excited and also nervous because we're starting all over again with newer Star Wars films, and this sequel, I was hyped. I remember seeing the trailer and I was like thinking like, oh my gosh, this looks insane, and then finding out that we're gonna get the old cast like Han Solo, Leia, Chewbacca. They're going to showcase the old and new cast members of Star Wars. And I really liked Force Awakens because this one did have that same dramatic feel as like Empire Strikes Back or Revenge of the Sith or even like Attack of the Clone Wars, but it had that same sort of feel where there was much more storytelling involved in this one. It wasn't just the action, there was some good, storytelling moments like Han Solo dying and then introducing Rey, which I thought, okay, this is someone new. We're gonna get someone new. I was hoping for, and then seeing Leia and all these other different older characters, and that's what I thought it was going to be, building up to them coming back, all of them being in the Millennium Falcon. That's what I was thinking the whole time, but obviously it didn't. I would say, yeah, Force Awakens is probably my favorite out of the newest sequels of the Star Wars franchise. So yeah. Alright, so coming in at number 5, we have Return of the Jedi. Just remember watching it always on VHS, renting it at Blockbuster, and this movie was just so ahead of its time, and I just love so much of the production, of how you get all these different locations, and it's just amazing how far George Lucas's mind was. He was already thinking like 200 years into the future of what a sci-fi sort of realistic vibe of a movie would look like, and that's what amazes me about watching those older Star Wars movies, is that you appreciate them because you see how much art and craft it took to make those films in every aspect of the film, the production, the makeup crew, all those things. Like, it's just amazing. But yeah, I would say Return of the Jedi is probably in my top 5. I love watching that one here and there so often, so yeah. Alright, so coming in at number 4, we have Attack of the Clones. This Star Wars film almost felt like it was on its own level too as well. I would have to say the reason why I love this movie is because of how much action it was, because there's so much happening, with the Clone Wars, the robots, the shooting. Like, there's so much special effects going on, and the other thing I really love about Attack of the Clone Wars is that it's the first time seeing Yoda fight with his lightsaber, and that was a really cool, amazing moment. Watching him flip around and spin, I could not believe it. That was a really cool moment, I would say, for like Star Wars fans, and in general, just I could not believe that he was using his lightsaber. So yeah. All right, coming in at number 3, this is Rogue One. Seeing an older character like Darth Vader on screen was just ridiculous. Seeing him slice up all those guys in the hallway and use the Force, and then hearing James Earl Jones speak Darth Vader again, like, that was amazing. That Star Wars movie was completely different from the other Star Wars movies, but I did not expect it to be that amazing on that scale and that great of a story, because it leads up to A New Hope. I did not expect it at all. And I would also say that it was sort of the movie that kick-started all the TV series like Andor, Mandalorian, Obi-Wan, all these other TV series, and it really was one of the best Star Wars spin-off movies. So I put that, in my top 3. Alright, so coming in at number 2, we have Revenge of the Sith. This one has the second biggest twist plot out of the whole franchise. It does really give you a dramatic change of events in this film. That one is one of my favorite Star Wars movies by far, especially because it's about Anakin going from the good side to the dark side. So I just loved it. That movie. There was a lot of tears in the theater, I remember, but it was also really such an emotional film. So. All right, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. My number one Star Wars movie goes to Empire Strikes Back. This one, I would say, is one of the first Star Wars movies to give you the it was one of those moments, and this movie gives you everything. It gives you the romantic duo between Han Solo and Leia. It gives you the character development between Luke and Darth Vader. It was so well written. There was so much more happening, and that's what I love about storytelling and writing, is that 2 or 3 stories simultaneously in one setting. That's where I applaud the writers. That's what gives you the most thickest storytelling in the plot, and that's what I love. And the most obvious part is the Luke, I am your father, and it was a shock. It was over my head. I just could not believe it. I didn't understand watching it as a kid. I still didn't understand. Wait, why is he? Well, I don't get it. You know what I mean? But up until this point, now I understand why Empire Strikes Back has the divide of the sequels and the prequels. So because of all these big dramatic scenes in the movie, and it was one of the best Star Wars movies. And even action wise, I loved the Planet Hoth, and once again John Williams' score with the violins. I love the John Williams moments, and without John Williams in any of the Star Wars saga movies, if you really look at them, without John Williams there would be no Star Wars. That's what I love about John Williams too in these movies, is that the music tells the story as well, and I love it. And but yeah, there you guys have it. There are my top 10 Star Wars movies. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for any more content you guys want to see. All right, I'll see you guys next time. See you later.